Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today we're tackling something really fundamental that you've asked about. How do we justify the sometimes staggering value of these high-end restored collectibles? We're not just talking about dusting off old items here. We're really digging into this philosophy called rust to revival and focusing on the unseen hours, the expertise that commands that premium.
Exactly. And it's crucial to get this. The value isn't just because it's old or rare. It's really rooted in this act of resurrection. It's about taking something built to last, something often forgotten and rusted, and pouring incredible skill into bringing it back. Functionally back, structurally back.
Okay, right. So let's break that justification down. The source materials we looked at, they really emphasize that restorers are looking for specific things, right? Objects from an era where things were fundamentally over-engineered.
That's the term they use, yeah. Over-engineered. Think heavy cast iron, dense metals, maybe specific alloys you just don't see anymore. Robust things, domestic tools, industrial machinery. Built for permanence in a way that's frankly alien to modern manufacturing.
There's a great quote about this in the source material. Something like, "In a world of disposable goods, we believe in objects built to last."
We source over-engineered vintage pieces and dedicate hundreds of hours of expertise to their resurrection. Yes, that's it. So you're paying for that expertise, definitely, but also for restoring something whose original quality, well, it's irreplaceable.
And that expertise, it starts way before any tools come out. Phase 1, academic research and verification. This feels like a hidden cost, the intellectual part people don't always see in the price.
Oh, absolutely. It's the authentication. You have to know precisely what you're dealing with. That means hitting the archives, finding original blueprints maybe, sometimes translating old diagrams, checking serial numbers. If you skip this, you might end up doing a repair that isn't even historically accurate later on. You're basically an archaeologist first, a historian.
Okay, so once you know what it is, then comes phase 2, complete disassembly and deep clean. This sounds, less like cleaning and more like an excavation. If it sees solid with rust and old grease, why not just, replace parts?
But that's the key difference, isn't it, between simple repair and this idea of revival, replacing parts. That kills the authenticity. You're introducing modern materials, maybe different metallurgy. Phase 2 is about painstakingly separating every single original component. Gears, levers, tiny pins. You might need custom tools just to get things apart without breaking them. You're fighting decades, maybe a century, of corrosion, grime, failed lubricants. It's intense labor just to get back to the original metal's integrity.
Wow. Okay, then phase 3, the mechanical revival. This is where it gets really fascinating for me. You've got all these clean original parts from, say, an old key-cutting machine or a gramophone. How do you make sure it actually works reliably again? Does the restoration promise function, or is it mainly about looking good?
Function. Absolutely guaranteed function. That's a huge part of the value proposition. The mechanical systems, they have to be fully serviced. Cleaned, lubricated sometimes with period correct stuff, sometimes with superior modern synthetics if appropriate, and then synchronized. It needs to operate precisely as intended, just like it did leaving the factory, 80, 100 years ago. It's not just a museum piece. It's a working machine brought back from the brink.
Which brings us to the final, maybe most subtle part. Phase 4, aesthetic skill and patina management. This sounds like where the science meets, art and philosophy. You mentioned patina, sense of history.
Exactly. Patina tells the story of the object's life. There's that Japanese concept, wabi-sabi, finding beauty in the imperfect, the aged. Patina management is this incredibly delicate balancing act. You need the technical skill to know how to stop destructive rust, maybe using specific chemical treatments. But you also need the aesthetic judgment to know when not to polish, when to preserve that history written on the surface. Maybe you polish some brass highlights to make it pop, but leave other areas showing their age gracefully. It's about respecting the journey of the piece.
So, pulling it all together for you listening, that price tag isn't arbitrary. It's reflecting, everything we've just talked about. It's an investment in authenticity, right? The combination of that original, unbeatable quality, plus hundreds of documented hours of very specialized labor, the upfront research, the mechanical revival, and that final artistic judgment on the finish.
Precisely. It's the whole package, bringing the piece back fully functionally, structurally, and aesthetically while honoring its history.
Okay, so that's the deep dive into the justification.
Right. So now that you've heard the process laid out, the research, the sheer hard work of disassembly and cleaning, the mechanical precision, the artistry of the finish, here's something to think about. What part of that resonates most strongly with you as the ultimate justification of value? Is it guaranteeing that perfect as-new function back in Phase 3, knowing it works flawlessly again? Or is it the preservation of its soul, its history, the wabi-sabi in Phase 4? Just consider that complete transformation. From a rusted relic ignored for decades to a resurrected functional masterpiece, where does the deepest value lie for you?